What's up guys, JTails here with another video, and today I'm going to give you 5 tips to win more as a Bowser main. Let's get right into it, shall we? The first tip I have for you as a Bowser player is to use your Flamethrower. This move does a lot of damage, 32, I've seen it go up to 40, 42, depending on how close you are when you initiate it. Flamethrower is a very good tool to not only surprise your opponent, but even if your opponent blocks the move, there's no way that they can hit you, right? So even if Donkey Kong was shielding and I approach like this, eventually the fire is going to go through his shield and start dealing damage, and he can't punish me for doing that. So the only downside to a Flamethrower is that it's a commitment, meaning that if your opponent rolls behind you or gets around you or above you, when you initiate it, then you're in trouble. But if they block it or they stay in front of you, then you're okay. You can also reverse your Flamethrower if you're looking for a mix-up to land with, right? So this is really good if your opponent's approaching you and you want to surprise them with a turnaround Flamethrower, or if they're chasing you and you turn around and Flamethrower to stuff their approach. It's just a really good tool. If you're getting juggled, it's a good thing to come down with to protect yourself. And like I said, it deals a lot of damage. It's basically an unblockable move, so definitely make use of it in your gameplay. There's another important tip with Bowser that I think more people need to do, and it's using down B when your opponent is about to or is already grabbing the ledge. What this does is you're able to actually two-frame your opponent. Bowser actually just hits below the ledge. I can show you guys by slowing it down just a little bit. So take a look at Bowser's hitbox. Goes down and it actually hits below the ledge. So if your opponent's about to grab it, if you can time this, which it's kind of hard to time, but if you can time it, you will spike them or stage spike them. So it's a good way to try to protect and contest the ledge when people are trying to grab it. And it also ledge trumps them, so if they're hanging on the ledge and you do this, they'll get knocked off of the ledge, and then you can actually get off and back air them. And that's guaranteed depending on the trajectory of the ledge trump, right? So you can do that. And then finally, if they're already hanging on there and you know they're gonna like jump from the ledge or throw out an attack, you can use this as well to hit them, right? And all I'm doing, you can't really influence the trajectory of this. Like if you hold forward or you hold back, Bowser's distance always is going to be the same. So all you have to do is kind of know exactly where to stand, which is kind of like right here, I believe, maybe like a little bit closer, and then press down B and you'll grab the ledge. Just don't hold down. If you hold down, you will not grab the ledge. So just keep that in mind and consider using it when your opponent's on a ledge trap situation. Another tip for playing Bowser is use your Upbeat out of shield. And not only just use your Upbeat out of shield, but holding a direction is very important when choosing to Upbeat out of shield. So if you notice how much distance Bowser, right, I can do it in place, I can do it forward, and I could do it backwards, right? The reason that this is important is when people hit your shield either from behind you or in front of you, sometimes they're gonna block and you won't be able to punish them. So depending on where your opponent is landing, we're talking about aerials here generally, depending on where they're landing, you're gonna want to, if they're gonna land behind you, you're gonna press up B and hold back so that you can make sure that you get the punish. You don't want them to block on occasion, and then this is a really big commitment, so then they're going to punish you, right? The other thing about this move is that you can actually control which way to send your opponent. So if Donkey Kong's standing here, I'm going to want him to go to the right, so that I can like go off stage and edge guard him, stuff like that. Doesn't that make sense? If he goes to the left, I'm giving him stage control, right? I'm sending him to the center of the stage, which is bad for me. So take a look. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use the up B and I'm going to hold forward. So Donkey Kong got sent out to the left. Now I'm going to use up B and I'm going to hold left slightly. I'm going to hold back. You notice that Donkey Kong went the other way, right? So this is important. Manipulating your up B once you get the hit and controlling the direction that it sends your opponent is key to controlling the stage. You want your opponent off stage. You don't want them, you don't want to send them and give them control, right? You want to send them out so that they have to deal with a ledge trap situation now, and you can try to two-frame them with down tilt or do the down B thing that I was talking about earlier, right? So there's a lot of different reasons as to why you would want to do this, right? So basically understanding how the grounded up B works is super important, and controlling the direction so that you can control the pace of the match, right? Super important. Tip number 4. You're going to want to use your command grab generally when you're in the air, right? Because what ends up happening is Bowsers will use nair, they'll use fair, they'll back air, they'll down air, right? Even flamethrower, right? And people get very, very comfortable with holding shield. Oh, Bowser's above me. And of course you can use the Bowser bomb. I know that that breaks shield, but guess what? Your opponent can roll and they can kind of react to it depending on the situation. So rather than Bowser bombing, you can just scoop them up, right? So what you want to do is try to time it so that it's like before you hit the ground, so that you can scoop them up as efficiently as possible. People are going to be standing there in shield, right? So you want to scoop them up like at the top of their head. So like that they have less time to react. Because imagine if I fell, landed, and then did the side B. Like my opponent would just smack me in the face. But if I'm falling down, they don't know if I'm going to fair them or grab. Now my opponent has to guess. And that's when you start winning. Once your opponent doesn't know what you're going to do, that's when you start winning the game. So definitely really important to, obviously your opponent's going to be up on platforms holding shield. You can just jump up and scoop them. On Battlefield, you'll probably just jump up and scoop them here. Full hop scoop. You can even, yeah, you can like scoop like that. However you want to do it. But also on the ground, if they're standing there shielding, you just, you know, don't be afraid to try and scoop them. And then control it so that you land on a top platform, since it'll KO earlier that way. The 5th and final tip that I have for you guys is to go off stage with Bowser. Granted, Bowser's ledge trapping is some of the best in the game. I think that him being able to use up B, grounded up B, is one of the best ledge traps, right? This covers forward get up. If you block it and then you use up B, it covers get up attack. It covers the roll as well, right? So if Donkey Kong gets up from the ledge, we can cover that. If he get up attacks, we're gonna hold shield, block it, up B him out of shield. If he rolls from the ledge, then we're going to cover that as well by drifting back. And if he jumps, we can actually cover the jump as well if we do an early grounded up B. So the problem with that is that you're not going to KO Donkey Kong or other characters until maybe like 150 and up. So one thing that I think Bowser really has going for him is that the range on this forward air is one of the best in the game. It's better than Lucina's fair, Wolf's fair, and I think that it's worth really going off stage. Look at this range. And trying to swipe. It even hits behind and under him. So I think it's worth going off stage and trying to like swipe your opponent. And even like contest with a back air sometimes. Like you can go out pretty far with Bowser too and not have to worry about like dying. See that? So going off stage with Bowser is, I don't think it's a bad idea. I think in some matchups it might be dangerous, so you want to be careful. Like characters with really strong recoveries, but for the most part, I think it's really worth it to contest because this range, like I said, it's just huge. And I think that you'll get KOs a lot earlier going off stage and landing a fair out here at like, you know, 70%, landing a fair over here at like 60%, rather than ledge trapping. But obviously in high stakes situations, you probably want to choose a safer option, which is to stand here and shield and get your ledge trap going. Super important as well. You can 2-frame with down tilt on the ledge, but yeah, I think I want to see more Bowser players run off and use his really nice hitboxes. Even if people are recovering low, like Fox's, like Fox will go low, Olimar will go low. You can run off and back air and try to spike them into the stage. And since Bowser has such like strong knockback, it's probably going to be an untechable hit, right? So you can definitely utilize this to chase down your opponents and not let them recover. I think it's super important. In combination with this, in combination with ledge trapping, in combination with 2-framing with the down tilt or angle down forward tilt. I think it hits below the ledge if I'm not mistaken. So yeah guys, that's pretty much it. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please give it a thumbs up. I'd greatly appreciate that. And consider subscribing to the channel for more content like this. Let me know in the comments who you guys want to see next, and I'll be happy to try my best and get that going for you guys. Thank you all so much for watching. I will see you all next time.